Hey guys, Tony here. Welcome to another video. This one's going to be about how I installed my LED light strips that were provided to me by GOVEE around the baffle wall so that I could light up my KRIX MX-10 speakers. I'm also going to show you how I installed my brand new acoustically transparent screen, got it up on the wall, and then ran a video test. But first, if you enjoyed the video, remember to smash that like button for me, as well as hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss any future videos. Righto guys, there's a lot to get through, so let's get into it. Righto guys, so the first thing to get through is the construction of the screen. Being that the speakers are sitting in a baffle wall, it is necessary to use an acoustically transparent screen so that the sound isn't being blocked. My friend Mick from Sydney HIFI in Mona Vale hooked me up with a 120-inch Sine Acoustic 4K fixed frame screen. It came extremely well packaged with hard cardboard edging to protect it during transport, as well as a thick clear plastic. If you want to know more about this screen, I do have links to Mick's website in the description below. The construction was fairly straightforward. After unpacking and laying everything out, it was a fairly simple matter of sliding the steel connecting pieces into place, installing the grub screws while pushing the edges together to get the edges aligned and square. Everything went together quite easily, but it did take a bit of time due to having to use an Allen key. Once that was done, it was time to unroll the screen material, which I did, leaving the protective sheet under it to avoid any possible damage. I'm not going to use the blackout cloth as I want the light to be able to shine through and show the speakers, so I will keep it, but I won't be using it in this project. After installing the bracing pieces inside the edges of the screen, the next step was to use the springs provided to attach the screen to the frame. This part took a bit of time and a bit of practice, but with each spring it became easier and easier. I won't lie and say that I was particularly good at this bit, but I eventually got the screen done. Now, because I have plans to light the speakers up behind the screen, I didn't attach the two bracing pieces. I will end up installing them once I get the positions marked so that I can line them up with the MX-10 spacer panels. So now that the screen was built, it was time to put it aside and get to work installing the LED light strips which will light up the speakers. I'd like to thank GOVEE for providing me with these light strips for the project. I will leave links in the description to these GOVEE lights and other GOVEE lights if you're interested in checking them out. I'll also leave a card up above to a review I did on these LED light strips. So I had ordered some 45-degree angled LED diffuser channels with a square top diffuser section. The reason for this is that I will need to cover the top of the diffusers with black felt or tape to prevent the light from shining back onto the screen. If any direct light hits the screen from the back, the speakers won't be visible. The first thing that I did was to pull one of the MX-10 spacers so that I could access the power, and pre-installed the power brick for the LED strips. Next, I measured each of the channels and cut them down to the size required and began to install the plastic clips that the channels would sit in. This allows for easy adjustments as I install each piece. I work my way around the baffle alcove, and once done, it's time to install the LED strips. Plugging them in first to make sure they are installed correctly, I work my way around the channel, carefully pressing them down on the 45-degree angle until both sides of the LED strips were installed. As you can see, they create a fantastic look to the speakers. The next challenge was to mount the screen. I wanted the screen to sit in the center of the opening, which was also head height from being at the back of the room on the riser. So I worked out the overall height of the screen and half that number, worked out the height of the alcove and half that, and then added half of the height from the center of the alcove, which would place the screen right in the middle. To work out the mounting positions, I measured overall width and then came in by 600 on each end and then placed the last cleat right in the middle. Once measured and aligned with my spirit level, I marked the holes for the wall plugs and commenced drilling the holes out and installing the cleats. Now it was time to install the screen. Positioning it in front of the ladder, I was able to pull it up easily enough and mount it across the 3 cleats. After some minor adjustments, it was in place. So the moment of truth, did my light 'em up behind the screen work? Sadly, no, it didn't. Not only is there some weird reflection across the top, sides and bottom, but the speakers were only visible from an angle. This could be due to the weave, however I suspect that too much light is directly hitting the screen. So I'll need to experiment with a few more things, as I mentioned earlier with the diffusers and adding some black tape. I won't give up on my quest to have them visible through the screen, and I will make a follow-up video once I figure it all out. So next, all there was to do was fire up the projector, do some calibrations, and put on 300, which was the film I decided I wanted to be the first to trial in the theatre. I have to say the experience was amazing. These MX-10 speakers and subwoofers brought the theatre to life in a way that I just hadn't experienced in this room before. The bass was tactile and not at all boomy, but I could feel the power hitting my seats, and the Atmos and surround effects were phenomenal. I'd like to thank Michael from KRIX for all of his help and advice on my home theatre build journey, as the end result is simply unbelievable. I hope one day you can make it up to Sydney and check it out for yourself. So guys, there's still a little way to go in my home theatre journey, with the final sanding and patching of my atmospherics A20s and around the bulkhead, as well as the sound treatment and acoustic panels that I need to put up in this room. I also got word that the final piece of the puzzle, which is the seating, is only a few weeks away, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss that video. As always guys, if you liked the video, smash that like button for me, and do check the links in the description if you're interested in any of the things that I showed in this video. But that about wraps it up for this one guys. Thanks again for watching, and you'll catch me in the next video. Bye for now.